Hello and welcome to Behave with Sue. My name's Sue Cowley and I'm an author and a teacher trainer. I'm going to be making a series of short videos to support trainees, NQTs, teachers and practitioners with better managing behaviour in their settings. In this first video, I'm going to talk to you about the idea of establishing expectations. As any educator knows, this is a really crucial part of managing behaviour in a classroom or other type of setting. The reason it's so crucial is because if you don't tell your learners ahead of time what it is that you need in terms of their behaviour, then the only way that they can find out is by misbehaving first and then having you say, oh no, I didn't want you to do that. So in a lot of ways, establishing your expectations is actually about you being fair, upfront and honest with your students. And the thing is that you're establishing these expectations because the main focus for you is the learning. And what you don't want to happen is for the behaviour to get in the way of the learning. And your students don't want that either. Now, in terms of the way you go about establishing your expectations, this will vary really widely according to the age group you're working with, the type of setting you're working in, and so on. And there really is no one correct or right way to do it. It'll also depend quite a lot on your style as an educator. Some people will be very sort of business-like about their approach. Other people will want to be more laid back. Some people will want to be dramatic and so on. So there definitely is no one right way to do it, but there are some principles that you can follow. So the first thing to do is to think ahead of time how you're going to do this. Because if the very first time that you think about your expectations is when you are in front of a class, you're going to come across as uncertain about what it is that you want. A really good exercise to do is to think about, if I could only have 3 things, what would those 3 things be? What are the 3 things about behaviour that matter most to me to ensure that learning is going to happen? And you can even narrow it down to just one thing. If you could only have that one thing, what would that one thing be? And for me, the one that I use with groups of learners is that I need there to be one voice. And the reason I establish that particular expectation is because it creates an atmosphere of respect, but also it means that we can get on with learning from each other. And that's something really important to keep in mind when you're thinking about behaviour, that it is only ever about learning. It's not about some kind of control for control's sake. Now, one of the other reasons that it's really important to be thinking about your expectations ahead of time is that if you've done that, you will come across as more confident in what you want. And the way that you communicate your expectations will appear clear and confident. And when I work with teachers, I talk to them about this. I demonstrate, this is how I establish my expectations. And I say to them, what is it that I'm doing that makes me come across to you as confident? Because if we all think back to when we were children, we will remember that there were some teachers that we just felt, oh yeah, that teacher can control us. They're coming across as confident about what they do. And it's lots of subtle verbal and non-verbal cues. So it's things like making eye contact with the group as a whole, but also with individuals. It's actually things like your posture, how you're standing, because the more upright you stand, the more confident you will appear. It's about your movement around the space. Are you going to appear as though you're nervous to move into the space? Or alternatively, are you going to move around the space and make contact with the learners and give across a sense that you're in the space together and you're going to be learning here together? So a really good thing for new teachers, trainees and NQTs is to think about what your first lesson speech is going to sound like ahead of time and to actually literally run it through, perhaps just recording yourself like I'm recording myself now, perhaps just saying it out loud. But if you have that prior practice before you actually get in the classroom with the learners, you will definitely come across as more confident because there won't be ums and ers and pauses while you think about what you're going to say next. I'll talk to you more about establishing expectations tomorrow, but I hope that's been a useful starting point, and I look forward to seeing you again here at Behave with Sue.